Hello, hello, hello. YouTube is shouting at me again. It doesn't like the way my thingy is set up. How dare it? If people can hear me, please let me know. More importantly, if people can't hear me, please let me know. Because if you can't hear me, then that's difficult. But then, if you didn't hear me, you can. Right, just well, you know what? I'm going to stop talking and just start streaming properly. I'm going to ignore that. If I minimize this, I can't see the problem. If I can't see the problem, it's no longer a problem. Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday, if it's Tuesday where you are. If it's not, happy whatever day of the week it is where you are. Oh, my phone's also vibrating. Wow, this is quite ridiculous. Right, let's move my phone out of the way so it doesn't interfere. I will be streaming till about 4 o'clock today because I'm off to visit a friend. Right, move that out of the way. Let's also angle the webcam a tiny bit. Oh, now I've got too much of a delay. I need to see what I'm doing. There we go. If I did this, if I streamed more frequently, I would have a better setup, but I don't. Today's job is the Westland Gazelle, which I will be building straight out the box. Oh, I found bits of liquid gravity. More on that shortly. I've got liquid gravity all over the desk. Need to go over it with a magnet. So like I did with the previous stream build, which was the Comet, I will only be using what's inside the box and a couple of tools. This one won't be filmed in any way because I've already released my build video of this kit, so there is no point in doing another one. Essentially, I bought two with the expectation of doing one. I want to say it properly, but you know what I mean. Doing one as I would normally build a kit, and then the other one live as a starter set, and then do the video showing both. However, because the decals that I ended up buying were convenient for two, I just went out and bought a third. But we'll get these down as well. Might need these. So this is a bonus, not going to be featured anywhere else on the channel type build of the Gazelle, and this is what we have to try and replicate. But it will be straight out of the box, so it will be blue and whatever. I'm just going to move that to one side because I at least wanted to show off. This will be available for the whole stream. I'll show this off every few hours, periodically during breaks and things. This is the end result of last stream's build, the Airfix DH88 Comet. As you can see, it's incredibly glossy. The only extra thing I've done to this is add a bit of varnish because I'm always really paranoid about decals falling off. They never have. Well, I mean, they have, but I mean, years ago. So they don't actually fall off. But if I don't varnish it, I will never rest easy. After the stream, once it had all dried, I just slapped some red paint on it, put all the transfers on it, done. That was it. The video is almost done, so this will feature on the channel soon as well. But there. Yeah. Can't say I'm particularly impressed with that kit, but never mind. Right, let's move these gazelles out of the way. And thank you for confirming the sound is fine. I knew the sound would be fine. I can see... Oh god, I've just thrown a wheel at me. I can see the sound levels, but you never know. Sometimes things get lost in translation. I've also got 4 wheels with the de Havilland logo on. I'm going to move those off the desk so that I don't throw them at myself again. Oh, again, creaky chair. Have I opened this? Yes, I have. There we go. Gazelle. One Westland Gazelle. Paintbrush. Good. Seems to be usable. Where are the paints? The paints are in there. Oh, I did put some extra decals in. I think. I don't know why I'm stammering. I don't normally. I might add some RAF roundels to it. Not sure. I put them in there just in case. Again, creaky chair. I've now run out of room for everything. There's the glue and the paints. Paint should be fine. Having bought 3 of these, I do have plenty of spare paints, should I need them. Instructions. Oh, there we go. Another decal set. If ever you needed proof that I had 3, there's the 3 decal sets. Having already built this, I know it's not going to be as stressful as the Comet was. Although I suppose in some ways it is actually worse. Right, so we're going to prepare the instructions already. We're going to put those there. Move the camera a little bit. One thing that has changed since streaming on, when was it, Saturday, that for some reason it doesn't want to tell me how many people are viewing, and I have to go to a different screen for that. So if there's nobody there, please let me know that there's nobody there. If there's somebody there, please talk amongst yourselves. No, I'm joking. It's just got a delay, that's all. Again, proof that I haven't opened it. It's all sealed, and the only extra things I plan to use are an incredibly worn sanding stick, which I'm going to put there, and a knife, and some side cutters. That is it. That is all the equipment I am using to build this Gazelle. We're going to pretend I've never built a model before. I've just gone into Lidl for my veg, or whatever it is people buy in Lidl, trumpets. 1 Gazelle. Oh, yeah, exactly the same. I mean, I knew it would be. It's obviously a tooling thing. Tooling? They don't say it like that. Tooling. Look at all the scratches on there. That's shoddy. Oh, who gave this the green light, honestly? I need the poly cement. Move those out of the way. And then, as usual, throughout the course of the stream, there will be some spoilers. Ugh. Ooh, that orange looks... Oh, I've just thrown it. That orange looks horrible. Again, we've got light bursting its way through the window, but you can see here how orange that looks, and then you turn it, and you see it's much paler, almost yellow. Needs a good stirring. Ugh. And 53 is a horrible paint from this range. All of the metallics are garbage. Right, we've got the sanding stick over there, that there. Not that there's many spoilers I can show this stream, because I have already shown off what I've been working on, and I haven't had that much time at the bench since. More liquid gravity. I'm moving it all off the mat. There's more there. Is that everything? I think that's everything. I said after the stream, after the build last time, that I would do some ballasting to try and cleanse my soul, and I did, which means the floor is currently covered in loose ballast, and the desk is covered in liquid gravity from another project. So yeah, I could do with tidying this. Just testing the poly cement. Yeah, that works. That's fine. Right. Should build the Gazelle. Time check, 14:44. See how long it takes me to assemble this. I am well aware that we are going to end up with, sorry, indigestion. We're going to end up with a tail sitter. We're going to have a tail sitter because the instructions do not mention adding weight. As they don't mention adding weight, I'm not going to add any Wait. Do I particularly care? No, not really. This is a bit of a throwaway kit. It's just something a little bit different. I wouldn't mind seeing it in its blue form. I hope, however, it will last longer than the Comet, which is already on borrowed time. Now that I've got all the footage I need for it, that thing could end up in the bin at any moment. Right, so we are starting with the cabin. Do you call it the cabin? The inside of a helicopter? Never really cared about helicopters. Cockpit? Is it still a cockpit? Cabin? Box? Seatatorium? Control room? Heli HQ? Don't know. Right. So this is probably the reason why this kit should never be sold as a starter kit. It's covered in flash. Just lots of little bits of extra plastic on almost every surface. You vote for cockpit. Okay, we'll call it the cockpit. If somebody else comes in and calls it something else, they're wrong. We'll call it a cockpit. Logically, it would be. Right. The blue's gloss, isn't it? 14, yes. The blue and orange are gloss. So realistically, this should be primed first. Oh, okay. Right. That goes in there. But let's trim. Oh, that's really horrible plastic. My knife is blunt. Did I mention that last time? Probably. It only takes a few seconds to change a knife blade, and yet I'm still too lazy to even do that. Hello, almighty table. Happy Tuesday. I couldn't decide whether to stream today or tomorrow because I've got Ms. Modeler visiting Norwich later this week, well, tomorrow, and I wanted to make sure I knew what time things were happening and make sure I could fit in everything else beforehand. So I chose today as the convenient day where I can just get it done, go off, visit my friend, get all of my chores sorted, and then I can just have a couple of days of chilling and wrangling a pub full of people in how to build red arrows. Happy? It's a great Tuesday. Oh, all right, calm down. Not get too excited. I never used to have a problem with Tuesdays because my previous job that I quit a few weeks ago was 4 days a week, and I'd have Wednesday off, which is why I always do channel member stuff on a Wednesday. And my new job won't be. My new job will still be 4 days a week eventually, but miscellaneous days. But Tuesdays were always my midweek Friday. So I'd always go into the office and go, happy almost Friday, everyone. And they'd all just give me evils because they've suffered through Monday. And then they've got another rest of the week to go. And there's me going, no, I'm off. I'm off on Wednesday. It was originally a university day because my OU degree requires more time than just weekends allow. So having a day off in the week has always helped with that. It's nearly done though, only 1 year left to go. How far was it? 5 minutes so far, and I haven't glued any pieces to each other. Ugh. I still want to at least make it look nice as I think I can with the stock components in the box. go. So my laptop does not sound happy streaming. I mean, it never used to, but it sounds worse now. I've realised that for the last couple of years I haven't cleaned out some of my video files, so I had over 3,000 voice recordings saved in a miscellaneous folder. Well, probably not going to need them ever again. So I just deleted it all, clear some space. Right. Does this sit together? Yes, it does. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. One of my previous Gazelles, which one is it? It's the camo one. It's the camo one. Has a really bad join underneath the cockpit. See that? Yeah. Ordinarily, I would have put some filler on that, but it took so much effort just to even get the fuselage halves together. And it was entirely my fault. It's because of all the weight I put in. But I'm being extra careful on this one to make sure it doesn't happen. And to be fair, it didn't happen on the red one. See, it's much nicer. There's a tiny groove, but that's about it. That's quite nice. I like the red one. I didn't think I would. I did the red one because the decals had the red one included. That's the only reason I did it. But actually, really nice. Very pleasant. Right, quick question. Should I put the pilots in this kit? The pilots. They are included. I didn't on the others. Bearing in mind, of course, they will be painted a mixture of blue, orange, gunmetal, or black. And what does it say? It says to paint them black. Black suits in a... There's not really any point, is there? If you paint them black. Ow. Right. See, and then we need the other control. Where are you, other control? You are there. You say yes? Okay. Center control. We need the center unit, whatever that is, the main instrument panel. And that on top. And the handle. When I was building, hang on, I'm gonna have to clear my throat. Sorry, this microphone doesn't have a mute setting. Previously I have. Finally got some drink nearby. When I was building the other Gazelles, because I have friends in decent places, I was sent a load of pictures of the one at their museum. All pictures of the cockpit and the general interior. And I was looking at it going, well, that would be really nice. But this is not a very detailed kit. And almost none of that will actually be possible on this kit. So the best I could do was just find a more appropriate shade of grey and then just paint it that. But if you wanted to put a lot of detail in, at least I have pictures now. The same friend sent me pictures of their tiger moth and said, look, I really appreciate that. I appreciate you sending me pictures, but do you not think I already have an unholy amount of pictures of tiger moths? Including some that I took not that long before at the Havilland Museum. And those are pictures of the engine frame and things like that, and walk-arounds in books. Okay, they're all the parts. Is there any point in painting the seat before I put the pilot on? Not really, no. Okay, I might already break my own rule. So you see, if I paint the seat, his bum will then have to be scraped clean to sit on the seat. Whereas if they're all going to be black, as per the instructions, then that's fine. But I might already break my own rule. I have in here somewhere. I don't really like it, but I've got one. I've got a Play Markers skin tone, so I might at least give their faces an appropriate colour. Do you think that's within the rules? I mean, I've made up my own rules, so it's probably within the rules. Can one have enough pictures of the fabulous tiger moth? No. No, they cannot. Absolutely not. Oh dear. I love a good tiger moth. And come think of it, I love a bad tiger moth. I just like tiger moths. Although I wouldn't actually say they're my favourite plane. Even though they have come to almost define my time on YouTube. I'm using a stick as well. Fuck it. You know what? The stick doesn't even work. I'm not going to use the stick. Leave that in there. That one in there. Hello, welcome to the stream. I would advise against listening to this stream if you are driving or dealing with dangerous machinery, as at any point I am likely to swear. Let's put that in there, like that. See? I am deliberately leaving the back off. I'm really struggling with words today. I was recording a voiceover to a future video, and I had to keep pausing it and going, I don't know how to speak. What is going on? What is this madness? I blame society. Yeah, I was also noticing how much I was inadvertently swearing whenever anything went wrong. So I can't word and I can't not swear today. Oh, so much flash. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm leaving the back off so that I can line it up inside so that it's all neat. In fact, I could probably put the glazing in now. No, that's a bit risky. I won't do that. That's just how you ruin glazing, by getting paint all over it. We'll get rid of that. Is that what we should only be drinking? Oh, I would love a cold beer. That would be very nice. And hello, by the way. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining, dropping by. I would love a cold beer, but I can't because I have to drive to go and visit my friend. And then when I come back... Oh, and I'm getting a kit. He found a kit ages ago. God, how long? It must have been over a year ago. Messaged me going, do you want it? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, it's something a little bit interesting. I'm not going to spoil it by saying what it is, but it's something I wouldn't go out there and buy, but I'm happy to go and collect a free one and make it. And then it's just sat in his house ever since, because we only ever really see each other out and about in random locations. Hang on, how does like that? Okay, I've made 2 of them not even that long ago. You'd have thought I could remember, but no, apparently not. There we go, like that. So yeah, I have to drive to his house, collect a kit, come back, then probably cook a curry, and then have a beer. Now, I'm not saying that I've been drinking every day that I've been unemployed, but I'm not far off. Trying to clear the fridge. Got too many beers. Right, pilots are going in. Let's stick this dude in here. Oh, God. Uh-oh. He doesn't fit. He doesn't fit. Oh, and I've just broken the controller. Hang on. Let me put that back. I think I can show you. You should be able to see. If you try and... Oh, it's focusing on my hands. Stupid camera. If you try and stick him in where he's supposed to go, there's a huge gap. He needs a cushion, a jumper seat. Jumper seat? A booster seat. He either sits at a weird angle or he needs a booster seat. I'm going to have to sit him at a weird angle. I'm not going to sand his feet off. Not after I had to file the heads down, the heads of the pilots of the Comet. Oh, you bugger. So, sorry, you're just going to have to sit at a weird angle. Oh, wish I'd known that. If I tested it on one of the other ones, I could have mentioned it in my video, couldn't I? Because I didn't put the pilots, I didn't mention it. Also, the fact that they're looking left in a weird way makes them look really weird. Both just sitting there staring, it's like they're looking at something that's gone hideously wrong. So drive-by helicoptering. Are they going to fit? Yeah, they should fit. And then I can glue back on. Like so. And then it's going to need a little bit of time to set and dry because the next step is some paint. And I also need to stick the fenestration on, or do I paint it first? No, I think we'll be alright. I think we'll be alright. I don't think we need to paint it first. Right. So let's not do that. I just want to line it up. Just want to make sure it's definitely going to fit. Yes, right, it's only going to fit. So that's going to sit there and dry for a little bit, which means, spoiler time. I did show these off on Saturday, but some progress has been made. We have big tiger moth. In fact, it's so big I'm going to have to move the camera a little bit up. Hopefully it won't slip. Oh, I've just broken it. It's got very fragile undercarriage. This is the ICM 1/32 scale tiger moth. This is the silver one, as I've called it, as you can probably see. Let's turn this light on. And you can see some rather nice cockpit detail. It's a very, very nice kit. Not quite as nice as I'd hoped. It has now had the wing put on, as you can see, and it is ready for rigging, which is why it hasn't been rigged, because I hate rigging. A couple of decal issues. The bottom's fine, but we've got the 9 on the registration decided it didn't want to be a 9 anymore, and the same is true of the K on the tail. So I'm going to tidy those up as well. But this is the kit that I've been putting off for a long time, and it's lovely. Also, ready. Whoop. Engine. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that, if I'm going to just leave it clipped on, or whether I'm going to glue it, try and prop it open with something, unsure. Oh, and it's the first Tiger Moth kit that I've made that has this, the airspeed indicator, which you can see there. The airspeed indicator being a stick with a spring. The air pushes it, and the spring represents the force, and that's how you do it. You have to Revel Reeboks. Oh, is that the same one? How recent is it? Because Revell have reboxed it, but I can't remember what scheme it was. Because they'd reboxed the Matchbox one as well. Oh yeah, it is the Royal Mail one. Ah, of course. You know what? A number of times I've looked at that box, I haven't even noticed what's written on the cowling. awesome. Hopefully you will enjoy it. Let's make that bigger again. It's, if I'm brutally honest, it's a bit expensive for what it is. What have I done? I don't know what I've done. It's not showing. Huh, okay. At full price, which is about 40 quid or so. Yeah, it's quite large, but it's no more detailed than the Airfix 148 one, really, other than the airspeed indicator. But it's nice. I'm definitely glad that I've got one. Glad that I've built it. Also, good afternoon. I am very well, thank you. How are you? And here is the other one. So I'm glad that I've got two of them. Let's move this one over there. This one was lagging behind because this one has more to it, obviously a more complicated colour scheme, and it's the bomber version, so it has bomb racks, hilariously small bomb racks for the hilariously small bombs. It also has a removable cowling on the other side, so it has the yellow, and I'd messed it up. I painted the whole cowling brown and then looked at it and gone, no, that's not right, so I had to remask it and then put some yellow on there. And the other side again has the cowling, the engine cover off, but it's got bits of blue tack in there and it's broken and it's not very good, so I might have to seal the engine up. It's typical that this one has a better painted engine, but this is the one that the engine now looks worse because the thing's broken, whereas this one has the worse engine but the cowling can be removed. Yeah, typical. One decal disintegrated on this, but everything else is fine. And again, wing is on, struts are done, beautiful interior, very, very nice, but it feels really fragile. And yesterday I was planning on rigging it. If I sort of hold the bottom, you can see that the top wing just wobbles around. Yesterday I was planning on rigging it, and I just went, no, I can't. I just can't do it. I don't have the brain power for it. Also, a nice Easter egg almost. This one has two openings, front and rear, and this one only has one, and that is because this is the trainer version, which would have been flown with, in theory, one student, one instructor, and this is the bomber version, which when loaded was only ever flown by one person, and it was from the front. So there we go. Fun fact, Tiger Moth fans. And down. Right, where was I? You got it for €14. Wow. Yeah, that is a bargain. Mine, well, I got one of them for nothing because it was a birthday present. And the other one was in the triple pack for 60 quid, so about 20 quid each. Which is, let's move both of them out of the way, and all the wheels. That's why I had 4 de Havilland branded wheels, by the way. In case you couldn't guess that the 4 de Havilland branded wheels were for the 2 de Havilland aircraft. It came in this. Oh. Which feels like ICM were just making a model set just for me. So it's the World War II training biplanes. We have a Booker 131 Youngman. We have a Boeing Stearman, stroke Stearman Cadet. And then we have a Tiger Moth. And all 3 of those for 60 odd quid. Absolute insanity. So naturally, I had to buy it. There's also a slight spoiler as to other kits that I will be building at some point soon. So I unboxed the Tiger Moth. The video's not out yet, but I did an unboxing on the Tiger Moth separately, and then I recorded an unboxing the same day of the biplane set. But the biplane set, I specifically just say there's no point doing the Tiger Moth again. We'll just check if there's any differences in the instructions and move it to one side. Otherwise, it seems a bit weird. But the unboxing for the triple set probably won't be out for quite a while. I'll probably get the build for the Tiger Moth done. Right, how's the Gazelle looking? Currently working on Tamiya Tiger 1. Is that 35th? I'm not as good with tanks. I was enjoying it until you got to the tracks. Oh, yeah, okay. That will be the 35th one then. Yeah, fun. Tiger Moth bomber version looks very nice. It is, yes. Yeah, it is good. If you can get it at a reasonable price, it is well worth it. And is this the right one? Yes. The paint schemes, if you wish to view the paint schemes, move the Gazelle out of the way again. We have this one, which I didn't go for in the end, but it's standard camo over yellow, but the yellow goes part way up the fuselage, which is quite a nice colour. It is typical Tiger Moth, and there's an error in the instructions, but that's the one which has the blind flying, the instrument training hood that you would put over the student so that he could learn to fly. I keep saying he, it's they, but Second World War would be a he, almost certainly. The blind, the hood. The second scheme is all silver, which is boring. It shows the hood, but the instructions also mention that the hood is only for scheme 1. So that's rather nice. All over silver. It's the boring one, even though I've done a silver one. I've only done a silver one because of the options that I had. It was either 2 camo or 1 silver. And I thought, yeah, why not? And then the one that I got, the extra yellow. You really like the standard with yellow. Yellow underside for training squadrons, yes, that is correct. Or sometimes for aircraft on evaluation. It was essentially non-frontline aircraft, so you'll often see trainers or prototypes were painted yellow as well. So the only real difference between these two is the yellow goes a third of the way up. There it doesn't, it's only on the bottom, and there we've got a yellow cowling, and there we do not. So this one was tempting, but I thought the yellow cowling would make it a little bit brighter. So if that helps your decision, excellent. If it doesn't, never mind. Also the bombs. Bearing in mind this is 1/32 scale. Come on. The bombs are that big. So about the width of the Gazelle's cockpit. They are tiny. So I need to paint the bombs, glue the bombs on, do the rigging. I'm probably going to do the rigging first. And then they're done. That's it. Tiger Moths. Ugh. Where are we? So about 40. I know I started at 45, didn't I? So under half an hour. Cool. Let's paint these, and then I'll go to another spoiler because I have another kit which has been sitting around for a while, and I have something which I started yesterday. I always like to make sure I have spoilers to hand when I stream. I also need to work out when stream 3 will be. So this is my 3 streams for the 3 weeks that I am unemployed. Today's the only day that I could do for this one, but the next one, sometime next week, I don't think I've got any plans. I don't think so. When am I in? Yeah, I could do any time. Anytime. And the next stream will be the Hawk. Sorry, I'm just shaking the paint. That's why I've started ignoring people. Or ignoring the desk. So if you're watching and you want to see me build the Hawk, although full disclosure, it will not be painted as a Red Arrow Hawk as such. I'm not doing that one as a starter set build because I've already got something silly in mind. Well, I say silly, something unusual in mind for it, given that it only cost me $6.99 and I've got tons of these bleeding kits. I thought I'd do something a bit odd with it. If you want to see that and you've got a recommendation or a time that you want me to stream, I can consider it. Let's move it out of the way. Right, oh, I need... No, you know what? Is this a good idea? I don't know if this is a good idea. Well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm cutting the instructions in half. Done. That way, the actual instructions are entirely on this sheet of paper. I can use them as instructions, as intended. And then this bit, which is just the warnings and nonsense, I can use to prevent paint from messing up my lovely pink and purple cutting mat. Oh, and to explain the yellow on the tiger moth. Where's the paintbrush? There's the paintbrush. Yes, yellow was used in training squadrons. However, at the very start of the war, when things were really not going very well for Britain in general, there was a mad idea that if the Germans landed on British soil, or more specifically British beaches, that to get to that stage, there would be almost no air power from the main force available. As such, right at the start of the war, they made inquiries with de Havilland as to how they could potentially fit bombs on a tiger moth as a last-ditch attempt at preventing invasion. And the tiger moth had actually been designed with this functionality in mind. Whilst they were hoping it would never be used as a bomber, they did at least design it in such a way that they could fit things to the underneath of the fuselage or wings if necessary. Both were tried or trialed, putting wings on the bomb, wings on the bomb, putting bombs under the wing, as in usually large bombs, or putting them under the fuselage. That was always thought of as a possibility. They tried both, and it worked out better to put them underneath the fuselage. There are reports, or at least one report, of a tiger moth being used as a bomber in the Far East. They actually did it. They actually bombed the invading Japanese forces with a tiger moth. And I can't think of anything worse than either having to pilot a tiger moth carrying bombs at an enemy that could shoot you down, or being on the receiving end. What if it worked? You'd go down in history as being blown up by a tiger moth. How embarrassing. Must have been an absolute bastard to fly. They're not heavy bombs, but still. You're not exactly going to be doing a fast approach, are you? What, sort of like a 90-mile-an-hour approach in a plane with a yellow underside? Because even though they were fitted with bombs, they still kept the yellow. They were still trainers. And yeah, they at least tested them in the UK, but thankfully I never needed to use them. Bombed by a trainer, yeah. I mean, we know that in the Soviet Union, the Night Witches took what is essentially the Russian equivalent of the Tiger Moth, which is the Polikapov PO2. The Night Witches took that and turned them into attack aircraft. That was a rather extenuating circumstance in itself, but they made sure that their tactics worked and they painted their planes accordingly. They attacked at night, they cut their engines off, they did all the things that you would do to not be seen. If it's broad daylight and you're flying over Eastbourne in a tiger moth trying to drop these pathetically small bombs that are basically nothing more than dropping a brick on someone's head, yeah, that's different. Imagine that. And I suppose in theory as well, more motorbikes, in theory, the pilots were going to be from training squadrons themselves. They would probably be older instructors because everybody else would have already gone onto the front lines. Yes, thankfully, the tiger moths were never needed. I think that's just a good thing for all involved, really. But it's an interesting part of history, and I'm glad that ICM have reflected that. This paint is not very nice. I don't know if you can see this. I'll show it close to the camera shortly, but it's very patchy. And it's just supposed to be a matte black. And it's really awkward to hold. Ugh. Just attack it with a paintbrush. I suppose I could give them orange gloves. That would make it a bit brighter, wouldn't it? Right. Yeah, it looks a bit shit. I don't like these paints. No, it's not matte black, it's satin black. For some reason I thought it was 33. Why did I think it was 33? Oh, maybe the Comet was 33. Maybe that's what it is. Is there much else I can do with it? It's not quite dry enough yet. I'm going to give it another coat anyway. We'll do it for science. For science! There we go. I was quite impressed by all the love the Gazelle's got in my video. Most of the comments are positive. Good memories of it. My rant didn't put too many people off, clearly. That'll do. Click. Now, once again, I need to wait a little bit. Oh, actually, no, I can do the fenestration now, can't I? Do not glue. That was a cup of water. I've got a cup of water nearby so that I can wash my brush. It's a cup of water, not a cup. Oh, no, put it over there. Cup of brush water, not a cup of drinking water. My drinking water is over the other side. It says don't glue. However, what I discovered previously is that it's actually so tight. There's very little chance of it spinning. So I'm just going to open it up a tiny bit. I'm using a file. I've already broken my own rules. Also, looking at the time, we've only got another, what, 35 minutes or so? Something tells me we're not getting this done. Oh, actually, that said, no, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. It'll be fine. Let's cut that off. Oh, I also need, what's the other bit? Part 13. Not there. Part 13. I much prefer modern naming of parts, you know, where it'll be sprue A, sprue B, things like that. To me, that makes a lot of sense. Because if you've got, let's say, 3 sprues, one's mostly fuselage, one's mostly wings, and then one's mostly bits, you see the letter C and you go, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I can already see that because I've got a big fuselage-shaped hole missing from this one. Little things. Maybe I'm just a spoiled young person. Ooh, that's my phone vibrating. Yeah, that's too stiff. There's no way it's going to spin, surely. Surely not. Nah. Not going to spin, in which case I won't... No, I will glue it on. I'll glue it on now anyway, but I was thinking of painting it first. I can't be bothered. Cannot be bothered. What I will do, though, what I can be bothered to do is get rid of some of this flash. Like that. Done. Where's my poly cement? There it is. Push it in and then lock it in place. Oh, I thought I'd thrown it on the floor, but I hadn't. There we go. That's that. Temporarily stopping by. Well, hello. Nice of you to pop in, even if briefly. Yes, this is going to be as per the kit. As you see, I put the pilots in and painted everything black. I have already decided I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to give them a little bit of skin colour so that at least they have a face as opposed to just being stealthy black in stealthy black. I will paint the seat cover blue as well. But that does mean that this one will sit on its arse, because I'm not pouring tons of liquid gravity in this, and I fully intend to get this assembled, if not painted, then at least fully assembled by the time this stream ends, which is around 4 o'clock-ish. We will have to wait and see if it's achievable. What I'll do, though, to speed things up whilst I'm waiting for that to dry, I'll do the engine, which on both of my others has been a little bit wonky. I mean, it's wonky anyway because they're positioned at an angle, but it's wonky for the fit. There's 1, there's 2, there is 3. 3 parts. I do feel that I have also cheated by building 2 Gazelles a few weeks ago, because that's given me the experience I need to know to set my expectations for this. So I don't think this really is a true reflection of a starter set build, because I already know the kit quite well. It would be like asking me to build a tiger moth using a tiger moth. Build a tiger moth whilst blindfolded. Okay. Done. Yes, so the other thing that I noticed, which I actually forgot to mention in the video, this half of the exhaust, come on, focus. You can't quite see it. It's very small, it's only a couple of millimeters, but it's got lots of excess plastic right in the way, so you're always going to see it unless you drill it out. Overall, the quality of this kit is not good. It's old. It's no worse than other Airfix vintage classics, and this should have really returned as a vintage classic with an affordable price. Not that this wasn't affordable already, but you know, proper set of decals, vintage classic, and then this would be great. Instead, oh yeah, there's another problem, isn't it? It doesn't. One of the locating pins doesn't work. Oh no, it does. It does. If it doesn't first comply, hit it harder. Subscribe for more marriage advice. Click. Yeah, it just needs a very good squeeze, don't we all? And then this bit, that needs to be lined up which it doesn't automatically do, but you need to line it up to then get the next part on, or God, I really don't like this glue. Just flood the bugger with poly cement and hope. That's the option I'm taking. Ah, come on. Oh, right. There we go. Now it's in. Can't glue it on just yet, but it is now in. Actually, I get myself cramped doing that. Are they dry yet? Yes, they are dry. Which means probably put the glazing in, but the glazing has to be glued in with this stuff. So that could be fun. And I've also not got it on my desk. It's over here. Slide that out of the way. How's this doing? Nearly dry. If you're wondering how I'm able to tell if it's nearly dry or not, I'm poking it. Other methods are available and are better, but I'm not going to use them. So here's the glazing. This is definitely the weakest part of the kit by a fair margin. It's just got so many extra bits of flash and scratches, and just generally isn't very good. Although somewhat annoyingly, this one looks better than the other two. We need part 11 for the starboard window and part 15, I think. Yeah, there it is, 15 for the port window, like that. Put that there. Which is also annoying, going back to me talking about parts. This fuselage half is part 14, and this is, it's just weird. Just weird. Stick that in there. Oh yeah, that's fine. That fits. That fits really well. And that in there. Does that fit? No. Of course it doesn't. Why would one side fit and the other be the same? Okay, again, with enough force, yes, it does fit. So I'm going to be extremely gentle. Just put a little dab of glue on 3 of the corners and just hope that it doesn't flood the plastic. Come on. Oh, I just dropped it. My recommendation for using this glue on clear parts, don't. Did I do it? Did I do it? I think I did. No glue splodges. Nice. Can I do it again? Going to be 2 out of 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Little splodge in each corner. There. Yes. Clearly on form today. That's 2 out of 2. Happy days. Next. Again, very conscious of the time. We've got seats, and it wants the seats to be painted blue. So I'm going to do that. Move that to one side. And that. The blue that it gives us is number 14, French blue. We'll need a little bit of a stir. And this is why I put the paper down, it's dripping. So as I discovered on Saturday, when you open these pots up, all the paint that's held in the lid will just drip out. It's not the best design, but it's nice to bear in mind because I'm going to have to cover the pub on Thursday in paper for our event. In the past, you had good results using gloss. Yes, actually. I have. I've never done it myself, but I'm aware that that is a thing. The next thing I'm about to show a spoiler of, which will be when I finish painting this, comes with windows, but the windows aren't very clear. And it even says just paint it with some varnish. I will probably actually replace them, and that's usually what I end up doing because I have plenty of plastic, clear plastic art anyway. Not remembering how to paint. No, it's not awful. The satin black is a little bit glossy. It could be that I didn't stir it properly. I wasn't exactly caring too much. Yeah, that'll do. That will do. Let's pop that back. Wipe the pot so it doesn't continue leaking everywhere. That's going to need just a couple of minutes to dry. So the next spoiler it's currently on the floor. Well, it's on a layout on the floor. The next spoiler is this. This is something that I've been working on the last couple of days. It is currently primed in black and it is incredibly matte black, which makes it a bit hard to pick up on camera. You remember building this one when it came out in the blister pack? Oh yes, back in the early days. Don't remember it being horrible. No, and the kit itself isn't that bad. Yeah, it's just lots of sloppy bits of flash, really. So whilst it's drying, this here is a 009 locomotive, as you can see, a model of Kerr Stewart Superior, which is either a Matery or Barretto class Kerr Stewart. This will be a working model, but it comes with a static display chassis, which is what it's fitted with now, because I want to get the body looking nice before I worry about trying to sacrifice an expensive model to get it to work. And I've been chucking this together over the last couple of days. It's fairly weighty because I've shoved as much liquid gravity as I can in the tanks. Didn't quite fasten them properly with enough glue because it rattles a little bit when I shake it, but never mind. This is currently what I'm working on. Very nice. It is not fully assembled, it is just positioned like this to make it easier to put the primer on. But it does detach like that. And then the plan, if I can, how do I get this off? How does one do the thing that one wants to do? Oh, it's that way, it clips that way, right. Okay. You've just got these tiny little clips No, I'll try to get a screwdriver. I've got a drill bit. Got 4 tiny clips that hold the chassis on, which will be excellent because this is just the dummy, but it's obviously designed to be exactly the same fitting mechanism as the real one will be. So you can take that off, and this will then make it easier to paint. The smoke box comes off as well, so this will be the main body color. This can stay black, and then I haven't decided. So there we go. Yeah, that's a spoiler. I have been filming it. In the past, my railway content hasn't really done very well. I've only done 1, 2. I don't know. Doesn't mean I'm not going to make videos on railway stuff. It just means it's not going to be high priority, because if only a few people are going to watch it, then it more goes out to fill a gap rather than in a normal spot. But it's very, very nice. It was also pretty expensive, about 90 quid for the body. Right, let's put that back down on the railway. I've got a railway underneath me, you see. Fresh with ballast. Right, will we put into the clear parts? Yep. Sorry, I realised I probably shouted down your faces then. Yeah, the clear parts are the worst bit today, definitely. That's now dry enough, I think, to manipulate, although some of the black's coming off. Let's get some of this AK out. Not AK. Play marker. Oh, it's too thin. It's way too thin. They look ridiculous. Oh well, it's better than nothing, I think. Maybe. Don't know. You just thought the marker would be nice and thick. So we can now glue this bit together. I would have thought that the Gazelle would be a popular enough aircraft that at least somebody, one of the big companies, would have made a better 1/72 scale kit. Surely. It seems mad that this is pretty much the only option you've got. Okay. It's in. The cockpit is in. Ballasting was probably more therapeutic than the kit build. Yes. It was a little bit stressful. I don't like ballasting. Because I put down the ballast and then I drop PVA glue and water over the top. But that will often just make the ballast float until it dries. So then you end up having patches. So I've gone over it once. I've run a train, not electronically because I haven't tidied all of the track up, but I've at least pushed a train over the section that's been ballasted and it all seems fine, but there's still a few patches. I'm going to go back and do that again. And hopefully that will then be sufficient. At least it's just a station module, so it's just the platform that I've done. But I do hope to go and do the siding and a few other bits as well. I mostly just want the ballasting done so that I have a better backdrop for photos. So I've got another 009 loco that I have filmed, and it's been finished for months, but I've not finished the video on it. One, because as I've said, ultimately it's low priority because it's more just for completionists rather than for the general public. And I've got loads of videos that I think will actually get views. So partly that, and partly because I don't really want to take more pictures of my stuff on a pretty shitty layout, if I'm honest. I'd rather just make the layout look nicer. So I've got a little picnic area, and I've bought some fencing which I painted earlier today. So there's going to be a fence around the picnic area separating the platform, and I've got a station building, and that will at least give a reasonable... Oh, come on, you bastard. That will at least give a reasonable backdrop for just some photos. I've actually filmed loads of narrow gauge stuff. I just usually forget about it. Did you put some dishwashing liquid? Oh, no, I didn't. I should have done. I knew there was something I was missing. I'll do that for batch 2. Right. Fuselage is together. Do you still call it a fuselage? Oh, I don't know. Honestly, helicopters. Unfortunately, it's not quite as square as I'd like it to be, so I'm going to have to hold it. I can do it with one hand, though. Oh, no, but then the back's coming open as well. All right, that needs a little bit more glue as well. If the tail can hold itself, I can hold the front. Yes, there we go. Right, that's it. That's the end of the stream now. It's just going to be holding it here. Hello to an interesting 1/48 scale Gazelle. Is it? Oh, there's yeah. Okay, Fujimi one. Who did? I thought this was Hella. The 1/50th scale, because that's been available in a Mr. Craft box. We know how much I like Mr. Craft. I thought that was a Hella kit, but I might be wrong. I know I said I was going to hold it there, but I'm being impatient. I want to tidy this up first. I'm not one for much 48th just due to space constraints. But I'm trying to buy more because it's a good way of me testing my skills a bit. Oh, the engine won't go in. I put glue on it. I didn't dry fit. Ah, oh, there we go. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Just use force. If it doesn't want to fit, just hit it harder. If somebody can look up the Mr. Craft one, that would be helpful. Although I think you'll have to look it up as 1/48th, but it's the same kit that was released in a different scale. Right. Engine on. Fuselage together. The instructions say that the next step are the rotor blades, which I could do if I wasn't having to hold this to get it to set properly. What a pain. And we've only got another 10-15 minutes left. When in doubt, give it a clout. Exactly that. Yeah, those pilots' faces don't look very good. I don't think that plane marker was the right choice. And because I've been holding it, some of the paint has already rubbed off, which isn't ideal. I suppose I could do an extra stream on Sunday, probably Sunday, because I'm supposed to be working in London Friday and Saturday. I'll probably stay the entire time and then come back Sunday. Oh, hang on. Blue paint. Oh, I've just put it in blue paint. Fuck's sake. What's going on? Hang on, I've got blue paint on me. What's going on? It's the blue paint in there. Just dropped it on it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's covered the window, but it's fine. Ugh. Toothpick to the rescue. Hang on, I'm going to have to do this off camera because I need to lean on the edge of the desk. It's fine. It's the colour of the helicopter on the outside anyway. There we go. Recovered. Oh, I've just put the nose in it as well. Okay, right, let's stop doing that. Here's a handy hint. Stop dropping the kit into wet paint. I did dislodge the window having to do that though. That's not ideal. Not ideal. So after the rotor blades, it wants all of the remaining glazing and the tail and things. Murphy's Law strikes again. Oh, I know. Fool, that's what I am. It's really annoying. It just needs more time. Time is what I don't have. Oh, guess what? Liquid gravity. The reason for the liquid gravity was the loco, by the way, in case you hadn't worked that out. I had it upside down on the desk right here and was just knocking it, pouring the liquid gravity in, tapping it to make sure that it all sank to the front. And at one point it just rolled over and just all came pouring out again. I was not best pleased. I both love and hate liquid gravity. Let's do the rotor blades. Ooh, I don't like that. How the bloody hell? The way it's moulded, it puts the feed right in the worst possible place on the rotor. Just makes it really hard to cut. I noticed that with the other two as well. So this goes down like that. Then the rotors go on. Let's cut those off. 1, 2. 1, 2. I'm not going to put the pin on just yet. I'm going to leave that off. Problem is it's affected by gravity. Yeah. That is indeed the problem. I just find it really difficult to pour. Now, I think it's still one of the best weighting substances out there. Very convenient, very useful. But it is still a bit fiddly. I recently bought something very similar. It was discounted at TMC, the Model Centre. It's by DCC Concept, so it's designed as essentially the equivalent, but for Model Railway stuff. And I think it is actually lead, according to the packaging. It's just lead shot. But it was about 25% the price, so 75% off what liquid gravity would have been. And it's I bought a kilo of it. It's in a couple of packs. The balls look a tiny bit bigger, but they don't have any easy way of dispensing them. So I'm going to use up all the liquid gravity and then recycle the pot and use the lead stuff. At least that's the plan. There is a helicopter appropriately flying right over the house. Go away. Oh, it's a red one. It's a red helicopter. Oh, you used to have lead sprues. Oh, from 300th scale model tanks. Add weight in. Use that as weight. Oh, right. I see. Yeah, you use that as weight in your Pico wagons. I tended to use, where possible, a penny, but that was in certain like box vans and things. Hello. Yes, I am. I'm doing all right, thank you. How are you? Good to see you. I haven't succumbed to the madness of building a mediocre kit live. Oh, I knew it was going to happen. So this glue has a tendency to just sometimes spurt out. So you apply a gentle bit of pressure and then it just sort of snaps and just gushes out, and it has just done that. And I stopped it fairly quickly, but it has now poured polycement all over one of these. You've been away for some time. In good away or bad away? Or neutral away? I've been away from streaming for apparently 3 years, I was reminded. 3 years. And I'm only doing 3 streams and then stopping. So, at least for the immediate future. I might stream again. Now that I have... Oh God, I've got blue paint all over me. Now that I have a slightly different setup, microphone-wise, it makes it easier for me to stream. Oh, there's a big dollop of extra plastic. Don't know if you can see that, but that's not meant to be there. Thanks 1970s Airfix for all of the free plastic. Bad away. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully things are on the up. Liquid gravity is expensive in Australia. To be fair, it's expensive here as well. Haven't built for a year. Yeah, it can be hard. I have I'm going to call it fortune of being unemployed. So I am currently without main employment, only for 3 weeks, which is why I'm doing 3 streams, one last week, one this week, one next week. But things were getting a bit tricky in my old job, and it was affecting everything else, including motivation for things like this. Sometimes you just need to make a change, and sometimes you'll find a kit that will bring your motivation back. For me, it's always been a Tiger Moth. The best way, yeah, I know that is the best way to use it, but tough. I thought about it. Usually I'm actually pretty good with this sort of thing, and I don't need that, but yeah, only here for a little bit. Hang on, I need to check my phone because it is nearly 4 o'clock. Okay. Sorry, bear with. My friend that I'm meeting missed their train, which is good for me because it means I don't need to end right now. Try India, getting modelling supply. Oh God. Yeah, we are quite lucky here as in the UK, I suppose. On a drought of builds, went back to yes. I'm sorry, I'm reading half a message. It's poor etiquette. You went back to 1/72 scale Airfix models that you could do in a weekend. That is why I have so many Airfix models. When either work got stressful or life got busy or just something happened and I wanted to relax, but I didn't want to spend too much brain power on it, it will be an Airfix thing. And then knowing that that happens, when I actually want something on Airfix, from Airfix, for example, no surprises here, I will be buying the Canberra when it comes out, which I understand has now been pushed back to September, October, something like that, much later in the year. When I get the Canberra, I will almost certainly buy whatever I feel like, if there's anything cheap Series 1 or 2 wise. And that's just how they pile up. There'll be something that I want from Airfix, and then I'll just bulk order it. Or there'll be a sale weekend and I'll just pick something up. Oh shit, my drive shaft is broken. No. And they help. They cleanse my brain. Those Airfix kits, those Series 1s and 2s. I've got so many piled high. Although quite a few of them are actually duplicates. For example, there's 2 Folland Nats, and I've already done a video on the Nat, and there's limited point in me doing another build video of the same kit. One of them will be an aftermarket decal, so I might do a decal video on it, but it probably won't be a channel build. And then there's Spitfires, 109s, and Mustang. I do need to do the Zero. The next one that I want to do, because I absolutely love the aircraft, and I've only ever built this kit once, and I plan to throw it out and replace it with this one, the Bolt and Ball Defiant. I love the Defiant. Excellent plane, and it is a really nice kit. So that is fairly high on my list. The other, I suppose, issue is that with Airfix's current lack of popularity, we'll put it that way, or potential future lack of popularity, with changes at Airfix, I don't really know how much I want to promote their stuff, to be honest. Not that I overly promote Airfix anyway, I just build whatever model I want, or whatever model I think will do quite well. But if they're going to be difficult, do I really want to have too much Airfix? Unsure. Need to be in a better mindset to start. Yes, yeah, that is true. Yeah. You need to be in a reasonable mindset to start, and then have a good enough model to make you feel, to help you finish. That's how I see it. The Airfix mystery boxes, they seem to have gone. On the website, they were last updated in, I think, April time, and they haven't updated them since, so they're probably gone. But they were always really good for, exactly as you say, Mojo. Oh, what could it be? Oh, I hadn't thought of building that. Why not? And that is why I bought quite a few mystery boxes overall. You also love the Defiant? Yes. SE Rescue Defiant, yeah. I'm tempted to do it black, which is a relatively boring colour, but I will paint it camouflage first and then chip it off and have the black underneath. I'm getting more confident with doing things like that. You bought the camo version and then another one for the Night Fighter. Yeah, it is lovely. So yeah, I've got the camo version, which is why the black one would make sense. It actually technically has aftermarket decals, but they're aftermarket for almost exactly the same aircraft. I think it's 1 letter difference. There was a 75th anniversary of the Battle of Britain set from Extra Decal a number of years ago. It had, I want to say, 4 Spitfires, 3 Hurricanes, the Blenheim, Defiant. That's probably it. And I built almost all of them. I think I've got 1 Spitfire and 1 Hurricane left, I think. Oh, and a Gladiator. I had a Gladiator as well, because I'm looking at it. I can see it on my shelf. Maybe it was only 3 Spitfires. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I think it was 3 Spitfires. Anyway, rambling. You've got that set? Got a Gladiator? Yes. Yeah, I'm sure I've done almost all of them. I think I've got 1 Spitfire, 1 Hurricane left. The Gladiator is lovely. I love that Gladiator. I didn't do a very good job on the Blenheim, but there's the Gladiator. Could do with chucking the Blenheim out and buying another one. All of these were built when I brush painted exclusively and used enamel paints. And I've since come to learn that I just prefer acrylic paints. And I Didn't expect to enjoy airbrushing as much as I do, but I do. Therefore, all of these look a little bit out of date. I can't get it back on the shelf. I've ruined it. Oh no, there we go. It's fine. It's precariously perched. If you hear the sound of plastic hitting a floor, that's a Gladiator. I can't find the others. I must have put others in a box because I've just got so many kits. So many kits. And so many of them are bad. Oh yes, I do remember that you only brush paint. And you do a very good job at brush painting as well. You've got delivery with a load of anti-bumping material. The polystyrene piece which you use for chipping. Oh. Yeah. Nice idea. Apart from having blue splodges on it, because I've dolloped it in paint like an idiot, I think that is now good enough for final assembly. I've got my phone nearby so that I know roughly what time I now need to leave. Let's just get rid of any unread emails. Don't care. Don't care. Click. Click. It's quite nice. What colour will it be? Well, this one. This being built as a starter set type build, so I'm only using basic tools and what is in the box. So this will be blue. I get rid of all of this glazing. I don't know if you saw. Hang on, let's just make sure the paint's not going to. No, I don't know if you saw my build video for it, but I have already built this kit twice now. 2 Gladiators, but these were made with old Airfix. Wow, the rotors are very active. Look at that. Whee. Old Airfix decals. I bought 2 with the intention of doing one like this and then one blue as a starter set, and then doing a comparison. So here's how it looks when you put in effort, and here's how it looks when you don't. That was kind of, or not effort, you know, whatever. You know what I mean? That was the plan. However, because I found a decal set which had 2 complete schemes in, I thought I'd do both of those schemes, and I already finished the video, but I went to Lidl again, found another one. So this will be the blue one. The fictitious blue. Fictitious because there is no Gazelle with that registration, and it's similar to others, but it's not the same as others. You get out of the way so I don't put a load of dust on it. The blue does look quite nice, even if I would much rather have an actual Gazelle. They've at least chosen a nice fictitious scheme. Right, this is the bit which will almost guaranteed not fit. Almost guaranteed. You can place your bets. Because the nose, the interior nose, is too long. Yep, same thing. It just doesn't fit. You try and line it up. Come on, focus. There. It's got a big hole. So that will need to be sanded down. It's definitely in the right place. I've triple checked. It's definitely put in the right place. Utter ball ache. Oh, that might be for me. Tidy that up. Right. Done. Good album. Blue for You by Status Quo. I don't really know any Status Quo. It's not an age thing either. It's not because I'm young. I have old music taste. I grew up on Led Zeppelin. I just never really got into Status Quo. Maybe I should. I'll put it on in the car. Thank you for the recommendation. even if it wasn't meant as that. I'm taking it as a recommendation. So right, the glazing for this is one of the main reasons. One, why the kit should have been retired. Sorry, the tool should have been retired. And two, why this is not suitable as a starter kit. It's really fiddly, very annoying, and it doesn't fit. So I've got all of the bits necessary. Let me check my phone because that will dictate what I now do. 40 minutes. Okay, right. This feels so ungainly, but sometimes it's necessary. Annoying and not a good combo. Is it not a good combination? No, it really isn't. I love your vids. Thank you. You are very welcome. I was expecting and did receive. Oh, I might have sounded it too much. Whoops. Some negative comments about me having a rant about this. Yeah, I have not glued it in quite right. That's the problem. I think the plastic might be a bit thick as well. Oh no, if I do it like that, if I glue it and just apply an insane amount of pressure to keep it down, that might work. Yeah, I think it will do. Good humour. I'd say I try, but I really don't. I'm just naturally hilarious. I'll stop that. Yeah, I was expecting some hate on the Gazelle video because there seems to be the old guard defending the kits that they enjoyed when they were young. But realistically, I don't know. I'm quite young. I'm 35, by the way, for scale modelling. So I know I'm a bit of an outlier. But it seems to go over people's heads that we're not in the 1960s and 70s, and I'm not really making models for that sort of. I'm not saying I'm not making it for. I make videos for everyone. Anyone can watch it, but ultimately, we're not in a place where scale modelling is as popular as it has been in the past. There's simply more competition for our time. And if you are in your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever, and you like scale modelling, absolutely fantastic. I get it. But if you're in your 20s and 30s, are you going to start scale modelling? And are you going to keep scale modelling based on kits like this? And that's the way that we really should look at things these days when they're being marketed in places like Lidl. And I thought I thought I had explained that fairly succinctly. And of course, there were still people going, "Oh no, you're wrong. It's not meant for this." Well, firstly, I'm a customer, right? Shut up. It's meant for whoever wants to spend money on it. And secondly, if you're going to moan that the hobby is dying, why would you not accept somebody giving a reasonable suggestion as to what you can do to keep it alive? And the suggestion is, don't buy shit like this, or don't sell shit like this. I think everybody should at least give, well, maybe not everybody, I think people should be welcomed to give scale modelling a go. And the event that I'm doing on Thursday in one of my local pubs is for exactly that. It's not marketed towards people that have been modelling all their lives, because why would you take any advice from me? It's those people, it's a social event basically, those people in the pub that just want to try something new, and they've heard me talking about scale modelling and they're giving it a go for themselves. And I like that. And you could be the most amazing modeler. You could build the best, most realistic models that there are. You could Photoshop them into real world backgrounds and you wouldn't even know they're a model. But if you're a gatekeeping old git, I don't care. I'm not interested. Whereas if you build incredible models and you're nice, even better. if you build models that you're happy with and you have a good time and you're nice, perfect. I went on a rant again, didn't I? What's going on? What's happening? Clearly the best, yes, it is the best 1/72 scale model of a Gazelle. You like building crappy model kits, but it's due to you got the most. Oh yeah, yes, you did. You got a load of free kits. I vaguely remember. If you had to pay top money, you'd be annoyed. Thankfully, this was only £7 here in the UK and everywhere because you can't buy them anywhere else. So thankfully, it was cheap, and that's the best thing going for it. And I really like the Gazelle, but I would call myself a fairly experienced modeler. Whether I'm good or not is irrelevant. I've been making models for the majority of my life in one capacity or another. And so I'm okay to build mediocre models if I know they're going to be mediocre. It just really pisses me off when people try and defend this on the grounds of back in the 70s we did X and Y and whatever. It's like, okay, great, nobody's stopping you from doing that, but it doesn't mean you're going to invite new people. Perfect example is I've done this the wrong way around. I've totally ballsed this up. I would say the main rival to things like this for certainly my generation is video games. And yesterday, not yesterday, what day are we, Tuesday? Yeah, it was yesterday daytime, instead of rigging these sodding tiger moths, something which I knew would take a lot of brain power, instead of that, I just turned on the computer and I played 3 hours of Cyberpunk. You've got to market, you've got to make sure that people are going to have an enjoyable time. And if it's really easy to have an enjoyable time doing anything else, you're going to struggle. This is an absolute bitch. I hate this. I hated it the first time, I hated it the second time, and I hate it now. Getting this nose on. Ugh. And it's only made harder by the use of this glue, which I know is an arbitrary restriction, but it's a restriction nonetheless. Oh, God, yeah, that is... it's a good job I don't have to airbrush it. There we go. The nose is more or less on. For what it's worth, you support telling gatekeeping old gits to shut up. Good, thank you. You're always going to get them, especially on the internet, because the internet is a great way of giving everybody a voice. And I'm, again, not opposed to giving people a voice, but you have to accept that a lot of those voices will be deranged. At best, they'll be contrary. I don't mind a contrary opinion. I could sit here and tell you, in fact, I will tell you that this model is a bit shit. It probably was fine in the 70s, but now it's a bit shit. If you want to tell me, no, it's a great kit, fine. You do it. But be prepared to have somebody say, prove it, or why. And that's what I think gets a lot of people off. When they have an opinion and somebody comes along with a contrary opinion, they're just going to disagree for the sake of disagreeing, rather than thinking about it. And ultimately, I don't care if you like this kit or not. My experience is that it's not great, but I still went out and bought 3 of them. Because as long as I'm aware that I've got a bad kit, I don't mind. There we go. Ugh. Although again, the idea of giving this to a beginner, I mean, the glazing is awful. The idea of giving this to a beginner, no. No and no. You need to go. All right, I'm going fairly soon as well. Keep your eyes peeled for when my 3rd and final stream, unless I do a 4th one, will be. But otherwise, thank you for popping by. See you around. Take the Airfix. Oh God, I can't even speak. Airfix Fowers. There we go. But nothing about those prevents anyone building their vintage classics tanks. Yeah, exactly. Hello, Morrowind. You're joining me at the end of the stream, but I appreciate you dropping by. Hello. Yeah, what's wrong with having variety? The thing is, this argument is always epitomised by the another bloody Spitfire argument, and the sensible view is that if the Spitfire makes money for companies, then companies should make Spitfires. If people are going to go out and buy Spitfires, that helps the hobby because those people are going to buy paints and tools and everything else. So why would you just waste your time moaning, going, "Oh, why are you doing another Spitfire?" Why? It doesn't affect you. If you don't want it, don't buy it. Done. And people seem to think it takes resources away from doing what they want. Well, it doesn't. It adds resources. That resource being money, lots of sales, and a new audience to sell things to. So people will constantly moan, going, "Oh, why have Airfix announced another Spitfire?" without using their brains and thinking that there's actually more to the hobby than just their opinion. The only actual event I've been to, because I very rarely go to scale modelling things, so the only one I've been to was the Airfix Hurricane Day at Duxford, and I need to hold this because otherwise it's not gonna be fixed. And they had a Q&A at the end of the presentation, and naturally they had to warn people, going, "This is a Q&A, bearing in mind we're not going to be able to answer questions about future releases, so don't waste your time." And I audibly laughed when the very first question was, "Have you considered making a P40 in 1/24 scale?" Fuck's sake. Why? Why would you waste everyone's time? Anyway, I went off on a tangent again. How am I finding the Gazelle? Well, this is my third Gazelle. I have published a video of the build where I have my thoughts. This is one that I'm doing just as a starter set build, so just using the shitty poly cement and the paints and everything included, and it's fine. Ultimately, I went out and bought 3 of them, so I knew what I was getting myself into because I bought 2 first and then the third one. But it is not a great kit. I wouldn't give it to a beginner, but it's not terrible, but it's not a great kit. Very much a sign of the times. The glazing is very badly scratched and doesn't fit properly, hence why I'm having to hold it like this. And obviously it's in a fictitious colour, which I think will limit some appeal, but it's fine. Why did Airfix have such a bizarre lineup? I have speculation, so just full clarification, disclosure, explanation, whatever. I have no in at Airfix. I do not have any official information. I have picked up some speculatory information, but this is all just my own opinion. Right? I heard, and this makes sense because this can be verified, that Lidl are in a bit of an anti-military thing at the moment. Did you visibly faceplant? Yes. Lidl are going anti-military for political reasons in Germany. That is fine. I don't have a problem with that. Therefore, they don't want to do a lot of, they don't want to promote war in their stores, so they're not going to put products in that do that. That immediately removes the vast majority of Airfix kits, because Airfix kits have long been military based for fairly obvious reasons. It sells. When did Lidl come to this decision? Realistically, it wasn't that long ago, and it takes months of build up to stock a range of kits in store. So I reckon, just my theory, my explanation, my theory is that Lidl approached Airfix for some kits. They agreed. They said, yes, let's do it. And then fairly late down the line, Lidl say, oh, they can't be military. In which case, Airfix now have to explore their tools, their pre-existing tools, for ones that they can do non-military wise. And you can't just have cars, because that will exclude people that want boats. And you can't have just boats, because that will exclude people that want planes. And you can't exclude planes, etc., etc. So probably, if I had to guess, I would say that Lidl's change to not wanting military subjects led to a relatively limited amount of time for Airfix to search the tools that they could produce quickly, bearing in mind they are produced in India. At least I assume they are. They should be. It should say made in India on here, because they keep a lot of the, yeah, it is made in India and UK. They make a lot of the, they store a lot of the tools in the UK, or they have done in the past, and then they tidy them up, or they used to tidy them up and send them out to India, where they were then produced. So I reckon they had less time to do that, and probably no financial incentive to do that, on the grounds of these are very cheap kits. So they are left with a limited range, and they had this available. That's my theory. Will I build the entire thing today? No. I've actually overrun a little bit. I was going to finish at 4 because I'm off to see a friend. He's now half an hour late, so I'm going to go in about 5 minutes. I was hoping to get at least everything glued together, but I haven't. What I will probably then do is arrange another stream, because I was planning on doing only one for the Gazelle, probably on Sunday, because I'm away for the rest of the weekend. If not Monday, maybe. And then I'll do the rest then, because I'm not making a video out of this. This is just a live stream build. So there's no way of you keeping updated other than a post. So I'll probably do that. I'll probably do a Sunday afternoon stream and finish it off that way. It is a starter set build, so it is just using these and the brush. That is it. So it will be blue. I was going to make a bomber plane, Japanese Sally. Ooh. What will Aldi do? Probably nothing. Airfix going to make flowers again. Are they? Are they actually? Maybe. Do you think they would? Do you think they would? I don't think they would. It feels like it would be a lot of effort. I don't know. I'm packing up, so I mean that's pretty much me done. I'll carry on talking for another 5 minutes, but I'm not going to do any more because this should really dry anyway. With changes going on at Airfix, it's difficult to know what will happen. I'm a little bit disappointed because it feels like Airfix had everything set up to be the brand we want them to be. Okay, yeah, they were not perfect. There were still quality control issues. There's still people moaning about their choice of kits, as there always is going to be. But I quite enjoyed the range. I thought it was pretty good. If they're not interested in as many military things, they're basically signing the death certificate, aren't they? You're fine with us seeing a few new non-military kits. Yes, airliners, for example. When have Airfix last had airliners in the main range, other than the Concorde? Yeah, I'd be happy with it as well, but only if there's military stuff. Because most of the stuff I'm going to make will be military, because that's where my interest is. My interest has always been either interwar or Second World War, post-Second World War, the immediate post-Second World War period, 1950s. That's the aircraft that I grew up interested in. So I'm more interested in buying a Vampire than I am some sort of Cessna 172. Although that said, if somebody actually did do a Cessna 172 in 72nd scale, I would buy it. But you get the idea. Military models sell. A lot of people are interested. Whether you associate it with war or not, personally, I really hate war, but it's where my interest is as a history student. Nothing to stop you or anyone else kit bashing, painting military kits. Yes, true, to represent civilian subjects. Very true. Yeah, it is worrying, but as I've said to other people, both on stream and off, if Airfix move away from being the company that they are, so if they step away from being really communicative with creators, again, full disclosure, I don't have a direct connection at Airfix. I know in the past, Dale would message creators, and some people would get sent free kits. I've never been sent a free kit by Airfix. The most I got was a free calendar, and it was free anyway. So I'm not really on their radar, even though I have an affiliate link. But I've heard from other people that they just haven't been communicating. Well, if Airfix don't communicate with people, but Revell do, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think we're all just going to bow down to Airfix for some sort of old loyalty? No, of course not. You're just going to see more Revell kits. If Tamiya wanted to have a decent affiliate scheme, and I'm not necessarily saying they're going to send us free stuff, but even if they sent press releases to YouTubers, well, we're just going to promote them. It's all about exposure. And here in the UK, Airfix are in the best position to market their stuff. And if they're not going to do that anymore, I'm just not going to buy them as much, realistically. If my YouTube friends say, oh, look at this model that's coming out, don't tell anyone, it comes out in 2 days' time. Oh, wow, look, that's amazing. Then I might buy it. If I don't know, don't buy it. So, yeah, it's worrying. It really is. And I would love to see them do some just a greater variety in general. But then also I'd love to see them do a new Dauntless, because I love the Dauntless. So, Right, I'm going to wrap it up here. So thank you everyone that has dropped in, even if it's been for just a few minutes, or if you're watching back, something like that. Just thank you, much appreciated. If it sounds like I'm stretching, it's because I am. I'm trying to put the Gazelles back on the shelf so I don't break them. I will probably put a post up as to whether I do decide to stream. The plan will be to finish this on a stream in the future. I've decided that much, but in terms of if and when, in terms of when, I need to decide. And when I say if, I mean the alternative is this just sits here being unfinished until I decide to stream, which could be a very long time. So I'm going to put this somewhere safe for now. I'm going to try. I've made a complete mess. I've made a mess. Oh God, don't do that. If you want to know my thoughts on the kit, as I have mentioned, I've already published my video, my build video, which has a nice rant in it. Okay, I was trying to move this so I could show something, and I can't move it, so I'll just leave it there. There will be at least one more stream other than the end of the Gazelle. So we are, where are we today? Anyone know what the date is? So I mean, it's on the screen, but I'm not looking at the screen. 14th. We're on the 14th. Next week, either Tuesday or Wednesday, probably Wednesday, I will be building the Red Arrows Hawk, also from Lidl, completing the trio of kits that I bought from Lidl, so I'm going to do all of them on stream. This one will not be a starter set build. I don't plan to paint it red. I'm not going to spoil it any more than that, but that will be a bit different. Next week as well, I have more time, so I will almost certainly stream from the beginning of the kit right until the end. It is possible that I'll also schedule this one for then, but I will post about that when I've confirmed. Yeah, that's sort of the plan. Oh, I didn't show my other spoiler. I'm aware that I'm 3 minutes over. Here's the comet for anyone who didn't see the comet. There's a video on that coming out fairly soon. That's what I did last stream. The other spoiler that I had, let's move out of the way. I did mention there'd be a spoiler. I've been building this vintage KP Letov thing. It is utter shite. And I've been struggling to put the top wing on because it keeps falling off because it is utter shite. But it's all been painted, and the decal's wrong, it's upside down. Yeah, just thought I'd mention that as a cheeky spoiler. Let's put that back in the corner, banish it. Oh, I absolutely hate that thing. Oh, want to request more tiger moths. Oh, more tiger moths. More. Let's lift that up. More tiger moths. I don't know what you mean. I don't know if there's going to be any more tiger moths. You must be mistaking me for some other guy. Why would I have tiger moths? Advert? No. No. You know what? I can delay adverts. Bastards. I pressed delay ads, and it delays ads for 10 minutes apparently. I don't know if that actually helps. Yeah, tiger moths. I'm going to leave the stream with a little slideshow of things coming soon. These are just thumbnails that I've already thrown up. So, thrown up? That sounds bad. Um, so if you want to see what videos are coming up in the next few weeks, then stick around. Otherwise, thank you one and all for dropping by. It has been lovely streaming in front of you, for you. There's my squash that I've been drinking. And yes, I'm really bad at ending videos and ending streams. What I'm trying to say is, bye.